and was one of the best players in the world. Everyone knows his story. That his wife Heather succumbed to breast cancer a couple of years ago. And Darren Beloved on the European tour.
And guys, you know, in talking to Darren Clark, you know, as we went around the first round, you know, and he didn't hit it all that sporty, you know, he made reference to Stenson when he won the Players, that, you know, Stenson just progressively got better as the week went on, and then he played a phenomenal round in the last round. So he's kind of not down after that +4 in the first round.
David Duval. Oh, what a first round he had, a 67. Now, we really haven't heard much from David Duval this year. He's been more cut. I think his best finish on tour is a tie for 55th. He had a good half of the British Open, but really this is a comeback story and then some. David Toms opened with a 69, finishing about an hour and a half.
9 on and 4 from the right side. Here's David Duval.
Also going with 3 medal. That 2 down the left-hand side, and that may catch the trees.
Billy, those are 2 bad tee shots. I mean, that's
those are 2. Yeah, those are 2 20-yard pulls.
Yeah. And how about David Duval now? What's he got, Bill?
Well, this ball's sitting down. He's actually a little further up, that if he drew a good lie, might have a chance to get to the putting surface, but with this lie, I just don't see it.
You know, this is one of those few holes where you think you can take advantage. Maybe a birdie hole. And with the 3-wood off the tee, the 3 metal just shaping your tee shot, but these were pulled well left.
And given the fact that David pitches the ball so well, I would think that he'd just try to take it as close to the end of the fairway as he possibly can, then have plenty of green and a good lie to work with from the fairway.
Nice out, babe. Nice out.
All right, well done. But that whole location, which was center left for the AM portion.
Well, you know it's the U.S. Open, don't you, when they're applauding chip outs?
Yeah.
Those are
together this year. Except for the 1 round at the Masters, back to 2.
All right, Chris, here's Duval set to play his 3rd.
Right at 71 yards, Terry, and up the hill. I think it's the kind of situation you just don't want to get too cute with. Certainly David could throw it behind the hole, drag it back a little bit.
That's what I think he'd be trying to do, Billy. I agree. Isn't it? Very nice.
Billy, you get the sense this gallery growing in energy. We'll get back to that, but based on what Duval did, 3 on.
To your point, you know, about playing back-to-back rounds and playing in the afternoon and getting the good part of the draw, I think this was a great break for David Duval, Roger, simply because he posted 3 under par in the first round, and now you can go out there. You don't have to sleep on it. You know, everyone's kind of waiting for you to implode, but yet you get to go back out there. You're playing great, and you can continue the good play.
Right, you want to keep going, especially if you're playing well. That is the point. You want to just keep going and going. When you really got it, you don't ever want to stop.
Hey, Raj, you think Ernie Els wants to go back out there and play?
No.
That's the flip side.
That's the other side.
All right, Duval for par.
And he hit it.
Tee shots doing in Duval and Tom.
David Duval now on 3. Par 3. 3rd, 227, Bill Kratzer.
227, and you just watched David Duval hit a hybrid, or David Toms hit a hybrid. Duval's got a 4-iron. He's going to have to roast it to get it there.
Looks like he was trying to play a pretty big draw. No contest there, Billy. That was roasted. That's going to now catch the back fall off and go over the green.
Think he's excited?
Afternoon, we go to the 3rd.
David Duval, birdie here.
Actually caught a pretty good break. Got relief from a sprinkler head. Able to drop the ball.
Settle. Yeah. Still got a little work left.
Little leakage. To 4. Now the par for David Duval.
Coming off bogey at 2.
Well, he cooked that first putt too far past, didn't he? To 2.
It's kind of a different mindset for the U.S. Open. This earlier, David Duval at 4.
It's his third shot, coming off of 2 bogeys. Going to leave it in the bunker. And all of a sudden, it's going to get into the long rough, I believe. But all of a sudden, this is now his 4th shot. He's got to figure out a way to hit a great shot here just to save par. Long grass, catches the club. Now he's looking at a 40-footer just to save par. So what this great story we had going at David Duval playing such wonderful golf. Now with the par putt, this is a hole with a good tee shot and a good second. You can knock on very easily in 2, and all of a sudden David Duval has made it. Now he's made 3 bogeys in a row. So he's gone from 67 now even for the championship.
And back. Yeah, what would you wager it against seeing that? Especially standing out here yesterday afternoon when it was awful. And Duval with a birdie opportunity coming up. You mentioned played pretty well at the British Open last year. In fact, was in one of the last groups on Saturday. Very much right there. But look at all the squares on his card so far in his opening 9 here in the second round.
It's just so hard to play a golf course that's set up and prepared for a U.S. Open, Terry. I mean, if you just get going a little bit the wrong way, it seems like you can't get your direction righted. You can't get off that path sometimes, and it's something that's it's the mental toughness that's needed to play in a U.S. Open that the players that are successful have. You can't let it get away from you, and that's kind of what's happening to David a little bit. I hope he can turn it around. Okay.
There's the start. All right, a birdie on that card now. It's one thing to do it 1 round too, Roger, but you know it's a 4-round championship. I mean, consistently throughout, it catches up with you. To 6.
Oh, back to 9.
Where David Duval, after a wonderful opening round, is now trying to get something going. Second shot on par 4 9th.
Driven it that notch in the fairway where most of the balls will come down and reside. Okay. A little wide left, a little safe, but an outside chance at birdie.
Around, it's his time.
Let's go check what's been up with David Duval. Good start to the day today. His 3rd at number 10. Nice. He can use that 3 over for his first 9 in this second round.
To 11. David Duval.
All over the bunker in the front right.
There you go.
Continues to make good swings.
He had a 67, which he finished this afternoon, then immediately had a few books. Now David Duval for a birdie after the brilliant approach. Back to red numbers for David Duval, who will have his legions out here, that's for sure, if he continues to play like this, Raj.
Solid stuff. Way to go. Off to a shaky start and is rebounding.
Boxes followed by circles. That's a good thing. Back to 18. Is it up to 12?
And the sun's setting on the right, just beyond the trees. David Duval on this tee. Now you see the bunkers out there, which to carry those, you've got to hit it about 260 yards. Hasn't been a problem for most in the field, except when we had the rainy conditions yesterday. But new fairway put in that wasn't there in 2002, so you could take that line.
Makes the hole much more playable, certainly, and much less awkward. A change that the players universally love.
And no wind right now, Raj, but the prevailing is left to right, which made it even tougher to fit it in that small portion of the fairway to the right of the bunker. There's a look from up above our golf track. And for the average guy coming out here at Bethpage Black, playing it on a Tuesday, you're still 262 carry, and then a long way in, 504 yards, and the hole cut on the front portion off and running for Duval.
Sounds as though the crowd likes it.
And David Duval had about 215 yards left with the second. Put it here to the front edge with a chance for birdie, which would be 2 in a row. Kind of hopped on him.
David Duval. 13 fairway. Really smooth things out. This is third on the par 5. He said, I'm playing so much better than I'm scoring.
He has turned back the clock.
Seems like an awful lot of precision for the way he's been scoring.
Retro Duval, you're right, Johnny. He's got that same kind of body shape that he had when he was the #1 player in the world.
His swing looks just exactly the way it used to in his glory days, and he's so supple, which is, I think, his greatest gift. It's very similar to Vijay Singh, Fred Couples. They have that real supple body, and actually this build that he has right now is a good golfing build.
The 13.
And David Duval wasting no time. He took a quick look, walk around. Right in. David moves to 2 under par.
As we go to 14. And David Duval coming off his latest birdie. Now taking aim here at the 176-yard par 3.
It's just great to see him playing well. It's like, really, Duval, huh?
Talked about it earlier in the week. He has been promising this kind of play for quite some time, saying, I'm close.
He got a little late on that and then tried to recapture it at the bottom with a little closed face, but a good miss.
Now he's been kind of telling the press, this is what I've been telling you guys.
No, they don't leave anything to chance, do they? As we go to 14.
And Duval lined up for another birdie.
It's not the kind of putt you expect to make, but it's looking pretty darn good.
David Duval, 3 birdies in the last 4 holes to push it to 3 under.
You know, it's interesting. He really hasn't been able to play very well the last several years, but his putting never left him. In fact, he was high on the stats.
Ball now. Swinging beautifully. When David Duval drives it, he drives it long and straight. And this ball, look where that carries.
And that's what was really his weakness, Jake.